Hello and welcome to Microsoft Hates Greg. My name is Greg Deckler, and today we're going to be revisiting multiple visual performance, right? So I did a video a little while ago where I had done some scenarios with like having 1 to 10 cards on a page, 1 to 10 cards that are the same on a page, 1 to 10 tables on a page, right? So I did that, and we were going through this report kind of right here where I was explaining like, okay, a single card on average comes back in 283 milliseconds, um, over 10 attempts. Okay. And then, so we would expect for two card visuals that we would be 566 milliseconds across 10 attempts each, right? But it's really 776 milliseconds, right? So there's a penalty that's paid, right? I was trying to explain all this, and I give it a B minus, right? In terms of, so then subsequently I created some much better metrics, in my opinion, much better analysis when I 10x'd the performance of a Power BI report. I created better metrics. However, it was explained to me, or by mentioned by a couple of people, that I did a crap job of explaining the metrics. So I'm going to give it another. So what I did was I ported those metrics over to this report, and I created a couple different new scenarios. But first, before we get into the analysis, I'm going to explain this one more time and hopefully be much more clear about it. Right. So back-end stuff is parallel, right? But the front end, the UI, visuals rendering on the page is serial, right? It's sequential. So, this visual has to render before this visual can render before this visual can render. Okay? The important part you need to know about this is that the last visual that renders, the amount of time that it takes, is the amount of time that it takes to render the page, right? Because the last visual that renders on the page, right, over here means that the page is fully rendered. Okay, so that's what's important about this. Now, let's go ahead and go to this. I put this together to explain this. Okay, so I was calling this chart type. Don't ask me why. But basically, I create a scenario. Okay, let's say it's 4 cards on a page, right? So I'll name my exports, 4 cards on a page kind of stuff, so I can keep track of all of them. Now, within the 4 cards on a page, right, I do 10 refreshes. In this case, it's 2. So there's user refresh action 1 and user refresh action 2. There'll be 8 more of these in then stuff that I do. Now, within these, right, there are these visual load containers that contain the entire time that it took to render that visual on the page. And beneath this, right, there's this whole hierarchy of stuff like the query and the data shape engine, the AS engine, render, blah, blah, blah. We don't care about any of that for this, right? It's all there in the data, but we don't care about it. What we care about is the maximum visual load container underneath this user refresh action 1 and the maximum here it is, underneath user refresh action 2. Because again, the last visual that renders tells us how long it took the page to render, okay? So we want the maximums from this user refresh action, we want the maximum from this user refresh action. So we take that 62 and 60, it gives us an average of the maxes of 61 milliseconds, right? Now, for scenario B, 4 tables on a page, yeah, and I've totally made up all these timings, but whatever. The maximum here is 600, the maximum here is 620, so then therefore the maximum is 610. So it is this that we want to minimize. We want to minimize the average of the maxes, right? So, and this is why I always laugh when people I talk about measure totals, and people are like, oh, Greg, you're an idiot. You would never want to, take the average of the maxes and blah, blah. Here's why you'd want to do that, right? I mean, it's pretty obvious what you want to do, right? And not only that, I want to take the minimum of the average of the maxes. So stick that in your pipe and smoke it. All right. So here we go. On to the analysis. I hope that explains what is going on and what is important in the important metric, right? It's the minimum. You want to minimize the average of the maxes for the different loads. So in this table, right, it does exactly that. So here's a scenario, a page, 1 card on a visual life sat 10 times, right? That's what I called it. And this is the average of the max, right? 24 milliseconds to display, right? And again, this gets it out of by doing it this way, it gets it out of oh, we have to account for that it's 10 times, right? Okay, now this is how long it took on average to render that one visual on a page, across 10 attempts, right? So I can break this down. Now this, right over here tells me here's my scenario again, and here's my 10 refreshes. 1, right? Two tables, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Here's the maximum of the visual container, right? So these are the numbers that I'm averaging, okay? You can ignore this, is the average visual container overall, right? But this is the maximum of the visual containers underneath this action, right? So this is what I'm averaging. So if I was to go two table visuals 10 times, so it would be this, it would be 2 table visuals 10 times. Here we go. These are the numbers. If you add these numbers up and divide by 10, you will get 71. Okay, so there it is. So hopefully that explains what's going on here, and that this is the number that you want, this average of the maximums, right? And so now we can take a look at card, well, I have that selected, so therefore that's going to do that. There we go. Okay, so now what we can do is we can see very clearly, like, okay, the average around here is around 28, 30 or so, right? And this is about, twice as much, right? So there we go. Average of the maxes is 28 for one visual, right? 28. The average of 10 times is 71.67. So that's about twice, maybe 2.5 times, okay? So for card 2, where the cards were all the same versus these were all different, right? Now it's 33 and about 60, so it's about twice. So a little bit more efficient as it's scaling up, right? For table visuals, right? 44 was the average of these 6 right here, because they're all one visual. So 44 and 211, right, is the average of the max at 10 visuals. So a 5. So multiply that by 5. So table visuals do not scale as well as card visuals is the conclusion that you can reach from that, right? Okay, so now I ran 2 additional scenarios. So I wanted to, somebody had mentioned on, I think it was on Patreon or maybe it was on LinkedIn, that they were like, wow, I wonder if edit interactions has any impact on this. So I ran 2 edit interaction scenarios. First, now you have to explain something. You can see I did it with the population visual, okay? So I wanted to do it like, okay, I'll do 10 population visuals, right, that don't have any interactions on them. And if you want to know just how much joy it is to set up, go from 1 visual to 2 visuals to 3 visuals and turn off interactions between all of them, it's not fun, okay? It's not. But I did it, right? And this is the result. Now, you might be saying, holy crap, Greg, why'd that one visual, that population visual, go from 40 milliseconds, 41 milliseconds to 141 milliseconds or 186 milliseconds? That's your lowest value. Well, probably because these are 2 completely different days, and my system was under 2 completely different, stress profiles as far as more memory usage, less memory usage, more CPU usage, less CPU usage, right? These came on. I did this on 2 different days with, me with my browser tabs, right? I probably have way more browser tabs open when I was doing this analysis than I did the other time, right? So that's why when I do scenarios, right, I do the scenarios all at the same time within a span of as fast as I can complete them, so that I can know that my usage profile for my machine is roughly the same for all of them, right? This is the sciencing that we have to go on in order to. So the stuff that I did today or yesterday was not the same, as what I did, a week ago. So very important. All right, but these two scenarios, this is the one with no interactions, and this is the one with interactions, ran them at basically the same time, right within like a 15, 30-minute window. So you can see here that it's about the same, right? So 186, 104, I don't know, this was kind of an anomaly, 186 to 393, that's without interactions. With interactions, 184 versus 392, it's basically the same. Right, so there you go. Now this table down here is kind of fun, right? So you can actually have your different scenarios that you've done. You can see what's going on, and again, you can see that, okay, well, this is 40. Like when my machine was running really well this day, right? And so I'd get 40,000, right, versus 76,000 versus 75. Again, you can see that these 2 scenarios are basically the same thing, right? Little less query for table 3 versus table 2 scenarios, because this didn't have it. Well, because they were both the same table. So no, never mind. So yeah, they're basically the same, right? And you can see that these kind of scale the same, more or less, right? So there you have it. Do I have anything else that I wanted to share in this video? I did some other stuff. So what I do is I would like, oh, I'll take my card and I'll copy these. Although for cards, like, oh, and for these three scenarios, I would only copy one, like right around the midpoint for this. So I'd select this, select, oh, don't want that one. Well, whatever. Select this, select this, select this, select this, select this. There we go. I'd right click, copy selection, paste that into an enter data query, and then I'd use line st, right? So line statistics. So what I did, so for the card, right, it has a slope of about 4.22. So pretty mild slope to it compared to, let's see, table 3 line has a 20 for a slope, and then the table scenario has an 18 for slope. So all the table slopes came out about the same. All the card, slopes came out about the same. So the slope, right, that's how fast it ramps up in terms of the multiplier, right? The penalty that you're paying for having additional visuals on the page, right? You're going a slope that goes from 1 to 2 or 2.5 versus 1 to 5, right? For your card versus your table visuals. So there it is in your statistics, and you can go nuts with that, right? Obviously, the number of visuals related to the amount of milliseconds, right, is very highly correlated. You can see that in these charts, right? They're obvious, just even to the naked eye. You can see that, especially on things like, oh, because I had these selected, so therefore, like this one's very obvious. This one's extremely obvious, right? This one bounces around a bit, but you can see it's about the trend, around the trend line. If I added a trend line to this, right? Boom, there it is, right? So pretty highly correlated. All right, that is all I had for this video. Hope I explained this much better than I did the first time around. But yeah, we're gonna be doing a lot of this kind of performance. I've got a ton of ideas in terms of like things I want to know about in terms of what causes performance issues, what doesn't cause performance issues. And yes, I realized, and again, I'll go back to this, right? For all these scenarios, 0.58%. This is how much time was spent in the formula engine and the storage engine, right? So if you're trying to optimize that stuff, you're trying to optimize less than 1% of all the time that's taken to render the reports. Now, I do realize, right, that that this is all shared, right? If you're in the Power BI service, and you've published all the reports up, all the reports, from this perspective, from the analysis service perspective, are all sharing one, pool of compute, CPU, memory, right? And the data queries, the DAX queries, and all that stuff are impacting that pool, right? The rendering of the visuals, yes, it happens in the browser, basically. So you're using local client compute in order to render that stuff. But still, in my opinion, I don't think you'll ever get a scenario where you could 10x the performance of a report by improving your DAX, right? Unless your DAX is just garbage and terrible, right? So, like you're using calculate in that one scenario that I show where it's like, it's like, oh, by date, and you're trying to do year to date, and calculate just grinds to a halt, right? Unless it's coming some scenario like that, and then you switch to no calculate and you fix all those problems, right? I don't think you're going to 10x a report performance by focusing on optimizing your DAX, right? You're going to do it by optimizing your visual layer and how fast it renders. And that, and I think users really appreciate that when they can take a look at something and they can interact with it, and it's just snap, 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 really crisp. So we're going to be doing more of it because I find it interesting, and I don't see anybody else that's really talked about it. So there you have it. That's all I had for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.